AJ Brown, one of the arguments that's been made, including by her former colleagues, it's been pointed out that there's no accusation that there was any monetary or pecuniary benefit directly to Gladys Berejiklian. Is that a mitigating factor?
Well, clearly that is the type of factor that led the ICAC to conclude that a criminal charge was unlikely to be sustained or wasn't appropriate. But it does still, again, it doesn't mean it isn't corruption, because she did get a personal benefit. She was benefiting the person with whom she was in a close personal relationship. So she was benefiting her own relationship, her own personal circumstances. It's no different to if she was doing it in order to benefit a family member or a business associate or somebody who provided a political donation. All of those things would also constitute corrupt conduct in that at least in that grey area sense, and in a sense that really confirms that, and really this whole incident has confirmed that she breached her own ministerial standards. She then appears to have made submissions to suggest that as Premier, her own ministerial standards should not apply to her, that she was above the rules. And all of that really points to the fact that at the end of the day, no state, no government, no community can really afford to have a leader who functions with that level of either ignorance or lack of concern for the fundamental principles that should apply in this situation. And clearly, many of her former colleagues were very disappointed at the fact that she did not observe the same rules that they expected her to observe. The former Premier Mike Baird, others who just confirmed that they were pretty appalled by the fact that she would proceed to make decisions in those circumstances and not declare her own interests.
And even separate to the whole question of her own interest is Section 11 of the ICAC Act, and which requires a member of the government or anyone in the Parliament that becomes aware or suspects corruption to pass that on to ICAC, and she did not do that.
That's absolutely right, and the ICAC has described that as being quite grave misconduct, and I think they were influenced by the fact that there was clearly evidence that she was definitely turning a blind eye, that she was conscious that that her then partner was telling her things that pointed to suspicious conduct at the very least, and she was willfully saying, no, don't tell me about this. And we have to remember that by this time, as still a member of the Parliament and a senior Liberal Party figure, that Ms Berejiklian had helped facilitate and support and call for Mr Maguire's resignation from Parliament because he was already in the spotlight for what was clearly highly likely to be corrupt conduct. So no leader in that position can claim not to have known that these were circumstances where she had a responsibility first to the people of New South Wales and to the proper processes, including certainly not turning a blind eye to any suspicions about his conduct, and indeed, when they were as concrete as that, actually doing something to ensure that that misconduct was addressed. So they are really very, very serious matters, and I think although it has taken longer than anybody would want, and hopefully it needn't ever take this long for any kind of investigation like this to be resolved again, at the end of the day, I think the facts have spoken for themselves in terms of the seriousness of this kind of breach of public trust when it involves effectively the highest elected office in the state.
Yeah.
Professor of Public Policy and Law at Griffith University and a board member at Transparency International, AJ Brown, appreciate it. Thank you.